heard a lot of people say Jewel is really good at countering Baron, but she's obviously so far out of the meta.
Yeah,
So that's unlikely.
one thing about that glaive being banned out, I personally think it is quite a target ban coming out from the side of Team Artisan going up against Popeyes, because Popeyes, they are really known for their glaive being picked up, whether or not it is Boy 98 on that glaive or even just Chingy on that glaive. They are really good. They are really comfortable with this glaive pickup. So it doesn't come quite as a surprise, but then it is just quite an odd ban, especially for the first ban. And like you said, they do actually pick up that Catherine, and then following 2 bans, it'll be Celeste and Lyra.
Yeah, that's Lyra ban is just you've already picked up your captain, so you're not going to pick up Lyra your team, so you don't want to give it over to the Baron. Lyra Baron is such a good combo because you can just keep that Baron topped up nice and healthy, because he's really squishy, so he has low health, so that 400 healing from Lyra just is so much. It's like half the Baron's health pretty quickly. Celeste, another ban away. Banning away from the enemy team. They know that they're really good on playing Celeste, so they're just going to ban it away. We don't want to play it, and we definitely don't want you to play it, so we're going to ban it away. And I think it would make sense to see us on like a Black Venom. They're going to go for the Vox. Vox really, it's going to be hard to play that into the Baron. You're going to have to win early game, because if you get towards late game against Baron, he'll get more levels on his iron cannon, increase the range of his basic attacks, and outrange Vox by so much that it will be really tough once you get towards late game.
Definitely, I do agree with you. The Vox pickup is kind of iffy right now. Popeyes, in response to that Vox pickup, we do actually see a Grace. In the previous match between Enix and Silver, we saw this Grace and Baron combination, and it's really, really good. I would like to see the side of Popeyes pick up a really good early game hero just to, take down that Vox, maybe a Koshka, or even that of Taka. Maybe even Batiste, just to stop any engagement coming out from that Catherine, just appeal. Oh, they are going in for that Samuel, which is a rather intelligent pickup as well.
Yeah, it's going to be hard at level 2. Popeyes have got a really strong level 2 because they've got that Grace who can just run to your mid or even sports if she gets sprint boots at level 1. And Samuel has a really strong level 2 power spike, so I think it would make sense. They could try and go something like Kosh. It'd be risky now against the Samuel Grace, because Grace is really good at stealing away farm. Of course, bad position. I think Batiste could work. Don't think it'd be a great decision because there's a lot of poke, and Batiste won't be able to out poke. So Scarf could be a good decision, but they're going to go for the Black Feather, Crystal Black Feather. That's a risky decision. It can work. We've seen how strong Crystal Black Feather is against almost anyone, because if you can land you on points, you're probably going to win the fight, because you're going to do 400-500 damage on those on points, even if they have defense on you. If they've a little bit, if they have an Aegis, then it goes down to about 350. But if you land you on points as Crystal Black Feather, you can pretty much take down anyone. But it's all about that skill, being able to land them. It's hard to land it on Grace, and Samuel's probably going to outpoke you. So it's going to be tough. Baron will outscale the Black Feather, and Black Feather has a weak early game, so I do prefer the draft from Popeyes. I think the Baron and the Samuel is a much better comp than the Vox and Black Feather. But again, if Artisan take their fights at the right time, when Black Feather's strong, Vox is strong, and Baron's not quite ramped up, then they could be in a really good position.
Yeah, I must agree with you. The comp coming up from Popeyes is just so much stronger with that Samuel and Grace paired up in that jungle. The CP Black Feather, the Crystal Power Black Feather, I personally do not like that pickup as a CP Black Feather, because your opponent is coming out with that Grace, with that Samuel. They are really good at level 2, especially that Grace after acquiring that Holy Nova, and also Samuel as well. In Drifting Dark, the Melisande Verdict, the amount of AoE poke that is going to be coming out from this Samuel, he is going to outscale you in the later part of the game. If you do actually rolls offensive in for Baron in the later part, Baron can just jump jets away, and then you put yourself in a rather risky positioning away from your captain, that Catherine, and of course your Vox as well. Vox, one thing about the pickup on the side of Artisan, like I said earlier on, is kind of iffy, because in the early game you cannot quite win Baron, especially with Grace, if Grace is babysitting that Baron. And in the later game, like you said, with more points in Iron Cannon, the basic attack range for Baron just increases so much. He can just outpoke you. So I'm leaning towards the team comp. We are 100% on side of Popeyes, although it is really just down to execution, whether or not Artisan can avoid the early game engagement, get Black Feather to level 8 first, like that of Celeste, and then see whether or not they can pick that fight on, and if whether or not they can actually come out on top. And like you said, they need to pick their fights well.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder for Artisan to execute their win conditions as compared to Popeyes. Popeyes just can fight pretty much whenever they want, because the Samuel's got a good early game, and Baron will scale really well into late game. So yeah, that's actually boots on Baron as the first item. I haven't seen that a lot. Obviously, Baron the slowest hero in the game. It does make sense to go for sprint boots early on. Obviously, Grace is just gonna do Grace things, go straight. Not actually gonna go straight to front. So yeah, just put the scout shot straight into the enemy jungle and pop that scout shot. 50 gold wasted from Delphire, but you've got to do it. You've got to know when they're going to invade. And Grace is just, yeah, she's so quick that you could never kill a Grace at level 1. She can just run away from you, and she's going to try and steal some backs away from Harkons. It's going to be risky for Tensorboy. I actually want to fight. They want to fight in the jungle. It's going to be Tensorboy caught out, but look at that Grace just walking away. She's so quick. Run around, and now Vox is going to try and rotate down. I think Tensorboy knows. Baron will probably have told him the Vox is rotating. Tensorboy's not in a good position. The Merciless Pursuit is going to come out. There's the operator. There's the boots, and now he's going to port home. God. No, actually, Tensorboy's just going to give a flare out. Shingy is level 2. Harkons only has 2 CS because Tensorboy was just there, stopping him from taking any jungle.
Yeah.
And now he's going to fight because Samuel's in a great position. But he's going to take the jungle away. Shingy's level 2. Harkons now is level 2, so he's going to try and steal it with the on point. But no, Shingy's going to go in and pronounce the verdict, and that'll be the treat secured. Shingy first blood going over Tensorboy on the Grace. Baron, good reputation down, stopping Vox rotating as well by pushing the wave in. And Samuel's going to get some free jungle away from Black Feather. Probably going to port home now because he doesn't want to fight with Black Feather's shot. Actually, Delphire's almost going to fall. Tensorboy's going to do a lot of damage with that basic attack. Will he get it with the retribution? No, quite with that retribution basic attack. And so now I think they're going to back off just for a little bit. No,
yep, they are.
And there's your point. Tensorboy's almost going to fall. Vox getting those resistance bounces. Aeon's going to use his spin boots away. Harkons wants to get the kill. Aeon very low. Double shot for Vox. One more will do it. Not quite. Tensorboy and Aeon both a slither of health before they manage to port home. And Harkons is going to help Vox push this wave in. But that is no kill support going over to Artisan. And Baron with those tier 2 travel boots. What do you think of that?
I mean, you are being the slowest hero on a fold. Yeah, it gives you reason to buy tier 2 travel boots this early, just 2.5 minutes in. It makes total sense. Problem is that you actually do jeopardize your damage if you actually do go for that tier 2 travel boots, because it kind of stuns your Sorrow Blade build up anyways. Because with Aeon just rotating so often and so fast, we saw Aeon actually going down, helping Tensorboy pick up that first kill.
And Harkons is going to fall to Shingy, because he's going to try and do what he can. Shingy's getting a lot of sustain from that Drifting Dark. Tensorboy's going to get this kill with that benediction. Not quite actually, but here's Aeon. Most Princess is more than dead. One more basic. Oh, most jump jets, there they are. Most Princess actually get away. There's Harkons actually up, so he's going to try and chase onto Aeon. Most Princess is going to go back to lane, get a bit of sustain, and Aeon's going to try and get some damage from Harkons. Delphire's going to get the rest of the suit. Harkons need one on point to do a lot of damage, but Aeon will be able to run away. Nice retribution. So benediction from Tensorboy there, get a bit of Holy Shield onto Aeon. He's going to run away. Tensorboy will be fine. You're Grace. You can always get away. Really doesn't matter who's chasing you because you're so quick. And now Aeon's going to get this wave. Most He's going to rotate down, help Black Feather out if they do want to fight over this Elder Tree. 104 gold. That Elder Tree really stacking up its gold there.
Yep, definitely. Just coming into the team, the game alone, we are seeing the side of Popeyes actually just playing very confidently, or must I say complacently, because they are going in. Ooh, Delphire may be caught out right now, but she's a Catherine.
Just Catherine, she's going to have a Storm Guard to keep her alive. First pursuit to try and run away. There's a bit of lane siege. Harkons rotating up as well as Shingy. And so there is jungle available if Harkons or Shingy want to rotate out to try and get it. And yeah, Popeye's just going to push the wave back off. Aeon's going to pick up his travel boots and work towards that. So It looks like he broke his journey boots, but no, he's going to work towards Cyber. He's going to keep that tier 2 travel boots. We did see a rush of journey boots on, I think, Sky and Celeste last week. But this time I'll just go for the tier 2, but not deciding that tier 3 is necessary just yet. And Tesboy's going to keep this wave out of the turret. Delphi get a free stat. He's doing quite well, 9 stacks, 4 wins in. That's very, very respectable on Catherine. And Vox just going to rotate down to shop, get himself probably a poison ship first item already.
Yep, definitely. I mean, Vox, he does well with this poison shift build into a Baron, because Baron has got a lot of burst. Poison shift was actually created in the EA, but when Vox, actually there is a Castro going around, Gwen, a lot of tension bow Gwen going around, and thus the poison shift actually did come out on this Vox just so they can sustain over the burst.
It's going to be the rest of Super Delphi. The drifting dark forward from Shingi. Not going to be able to stay in that for too long. It's now gone under the turret range. And that was a minion candy used by Vox. He has to get 2 of them. Still got 1 more ready to use on the next wave to try and stop him losing this lane so hard. The Baron to really push the wave in. And Blow's going to go low. Let's see if it's going to be dodged out. Delphi will fall. And that's Baron picking up that kill. Most he cannot survive. And they're just going to leave this turret to fall. They don't even want to try and contest it. Harkon's going to his jungle, and then Popper's going to get this turret. Artisan deciding that it wasn't worth it. The killer's going to try and get killed to Aeon here, but he has 1v2 and 1v3 actually if Shingi rotates down. So it's risky. Harkon's going to the Tesla boy, but he doesn't know that Shingi is there. Harkon's going to try and rotate him away. That's a good drifting dark ball from Samuel. Fountain used opportunity on the back line. Most of the coast to getting onto Baron, but it's not enough. He went in 1v3 after Harkon's went in 1v3. Not great coordination from Artisan. That was Harkon's going in thinking he was 1v2.
Yep.
But he was actually 1v3. Then he backed off. Most Toasty went in against Aeon, but he should survive with a bit of a holy shield from Grace. And then Vox went in 1v3. Really just good fight for Popeyes, but Artisan probably could have done better there.
Yep, honestly, I don't think Harkon is just sitting at whatever he has currently. Heavy Prism and a tier 2 crystal item should go in for a 1v3, a 1v2. Even then, even with a Shatter Glass built on Harkons on this Crystal Black Feather, majority of damage should just come from on point as a form of poke like that of Batiste and Bad Mojo, and not just going in, rushing in head first, trying to, just 1v2ing, because you just do not have that sustain that a general weapon Black Feather would have anyway. So I do not see why. That was just a really bad decision making coming up from the side of Artisan, or rather Harkon's person. I mean, Roasty Me Toasty was behind, was there helping Harkons, but being a Crystal Black Feather with no defenses at a point in time, you're just sitting on a light shield and a tier 1 defense. There is no way you can actually just go in for a 1v2, not especially against a Grace and of course Chingy, who can just dive and just dodge all of your on points, which is the majority of your damage. But anyways, just looking at the goal difference right now, the side of Popeyes is sitting at a comfortable 4,000, close to 4,000 gold lead. And of course, on 4 kills, they are preparing for yet another siege.
There were 2 fusions for Aeon and Shingi. That's going to be a little bit of poke, going mostly onto Delphi and Tesla Boy, and there's drifting down. They want to get the turret. Popeyes don't want to get kills, they want to get objectives. Harkon's going to try and go in. That's Holy Nova going to stun up Harkon's. Waiting for it going to go onto Baron, but he's got a lovely heal from Grace there. And that's Olivia going to go onto Catherine. That's Catherine falling immediately. Baron using his double shot from the jump jets to secure Catherine. Harkon's going to get it on point. Whereas defensive away, but the Samuel will pick that one up with the balance of verdict. And there's going to be Vox left alone. They're going to dive turret. They're going to get the ace. First ace for Popeyes. And as you said, that gold lead now going to be extended a bit more. This will be a turret and probably a gold mine going over to Popeyes.
Yeah, I mean, Popeyes is playing really the objective game at this point in time. They know they have a power surge when Aeon on this Baron picks up on that Sorrow Blade, and when Chingy completed this Frostburn, and then into a Void Battery. So, honestly, the side of Popeyes, they are coming into this game, this series, really, really very strong. And it's really just down to Artisan in draft as well. I mean, we were talking about draft earlier on, and then we are seeing the side of Artisan just banning out that Glaive as an early game, as an early ban, the first ban coming out from the side of Artisan. And we agreed, both of us agreed, that it wasn't really clever ban, although it might be a targeted ban on Popeyes, because Chingy or Tessa Boy can be on this glaive, and then they are very strong on it. But then we are not forgetting the fact that the only 2 weapon laners available and opened up to you when you actually do ban out that glaive is that of Fox and Baron. And instead of picking up that Baron, you give that Baron over to the side of Popeyes. So it just really just went down. It just went down to the draft. And how Popeyes was just so much stronger in the draft as compared to Artisan. And they are failing right now. I mean, they are feeling the heat right now with coming from the draft. They picked up a CP Black Feather, which isn't very strong at all in the early game just before you get your level 8. Just look at the amount of damage Samuel is dealing on to Roasting Toasty. Ooh.
That's a double shot from Aeon onto his half health from that. Aeon's basically full. That's a nice drifted up, very aggressive from Shiggy. Aeon's diving up the turret. He's fine, he can tank it for a little bit. At least those minion candied minions. Trying to push turret, that would be the Iron Cannon. Getting a bit of poke. Aeon really wants to go in on this turret. That'll be a 400 divine suspension from base. His turret will fall. That'll be a drifted up from Samuel. The lovely Crucible on the blast hammer from Catherine. And that Popeye's another objective, and Hockers wants to go. Doesn't want to go too deep. Shiggy is low on energy, so they could try and fight, but there's a Baron with a Sovereign Tension Bow. If you get hit by that, you're in a horrible position. And I reckon Baron's going to work towards Clarence Monocle, then a Tornado Trigger, very similar to what we expect on Baron. And that's already a Frostburn, Broken Myth on Shiggy. That's really good for a Samuel 11 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, the CS-wise, Aeon isn't doing exactly a very good job with the CS. I mean, 11 minutes in, just sitting on a mere 100 CS. But then what, as comparing to both laners, we have Roasting Toasty on this, Fox sitting on a just 96 alone. So I guess Aeon is doing well in lane, but I think it's just a frequent rotation. What they should really just do now to extend their goal lead and honestly, everything, and just try to clear out and just make a bigger difference between the two teams is just going for the gold mine. We did see when you are very objective focused as a team, you shouldn't just try to siege turrets and look for fights. Instead, you should take out as many objectives as possible. One of the more important objectives we see a lot of players ignoring is actually that of the Crystal Sentry, which they are going for at this point in time.
Yeah, I want to get one of those lives down. There's really nothing that Artisan can do. They're clearing the wave altogether, because they know if anyone gets caught out, they're going to fall immediately. Baron with his 3 full completed damage items, the box only having 2, and Baron has a similar amount of defense. That's just the 4 kills Baron has, just really pushing him ahead of this box in terms of pretty much everything, except an infusion. There are infusion for most of Mitosi, but not quite for Baron yet. I'm sure he'll pick one up now with that 500 gold. And yeah, there's the gold by Popeyes. They just need to keep pushing this advantage. If they play it well, this should be fine. Delphi should not have a chance to contest this. Shiggy should really poke him away, and yeah, he's not even going to try it.
Yeah, I personally
a little bit more.
I personally do not think that the pickup on the infusion pickup on Roasting Toasty is a rather clever one, because even if you do try to engage at this point in time, you will definitely lose. Just looking at items, granted you have a metal jacket already built, but then honestly, damage-wise, even if you do build a metal jacket, I personally think that the Samuel can outpoke you firstly, and then Baron will just be there for the cleanup.
There's Baron going with the double shot onto Harkon, so he's now about half health, and Artisan going to try and back off, then splitting up, very aggressive from Shiggy. Wait for it, and that's the silence going to be blocked up by Catherine. Blocked up by Hezeboy, and that's basically most Mitosis is going to fall to the double shot from Baron. Shiggy doing some nice Madison Verdict poke. It was almost a great combination from Artisan. There was a wait for it from Fox, followed up immediately by the blast hammer from Catherine, but it was able to be blocked, and they're hiding in the bush. That's the jump jets forward for Baron. Hezeboy's basically gonna go in, and that's Tarkon's gonna fall to the double shot for Baron. So much damage straight away, with Harkon only having tier 2 defense. I say it like that's nothing. That's quite a lot. Baron could just burst it up. Most supposed to do a full metal jacket, but it just doesn't matter. 3.5 damage items on Baron, and that's just a dead box. Popeyes could probably try and push for the win here. Harkon is going to respawn, but I doubt he'll be able to do anything. This Baron is so full of damage. As you said, 131 CS is good, 40 minutes in, but especially those 6 kills just means he can outbuy anyone else. So with 2 out damage items, Baron will probably get his 4th when he goes to shop, and that'll probably be a Tornado Trigger. And at that point, even though Vox has a full metal jacket, won't make that much difference. So that's the second sentry down. I don't expect the sentry to have many more lives before Popeyes have many more chances to survive. They see it respawn.
Yep, definitely. I mean, like I was saying earlier on, Roasty Me Toasty shouldn't have went in for that metal jacket instead, and even picking up that infusion, because that infusion, it gives you a little more defense, it gives you a little more attack, but then do you honestly need them, or do you need to try to rush all your tier 3 items? That is really the big question right now, and whether or not you can actually make the right decisions when it comes to itemization. Granted, it is, I thought Delphi was going to take that.
Delphi's going to try to do it. They get the gold mine just before Kraken awakens, so the maximum gold payout for them. And they could get, and there's 11k gold lead for Popeyes 15 minutes in, which is absolutely massive. As you said, Vox needs to focus on getting those tier 3 items and not really infusing, because if they could wait for a bit, maybe try and defend the Kraken, maybe Popeyes get a bit overexcited, they give away shutdown, give away ace, give away a Kraken gold, then Artisan could turn it around, but Popeyes just need to push this correctly and catch someone out. They know where Vox is. They've seen Harkons trying to poke out, but just going to pretty much fall. There's a double shot for Baron, not quite going to actually go for Harkons instead. Waiting for the silence up, then the blast hammer not actually blocks up, now all silence. And that's Aeon going to fall. He's almost going to be toasted, but it's not quite enough. Shiggy's going to get the divine dimension, and it will heal him up 450 damage because of that heal, because of that mortal wound. And that's actually going to be an ace going over to Artisan. That was Popeyes not pushing as they needed to. That was the Crucible used by Tesla a little bit too early. Echo on the Divine Intervention didn't save Baron, it didn't save Samuel. And so that is an ace and a Kraken for Arsenal.
That is
get a turret as
indeed.
well. Actually, no, Vox isn't going to push the turret, they're just going to get the Kraken.
Yep, that is an ace for the side of Artisan indeed. And we saw a lot of times, and not a lot of times, but in that fight alone, it was just a mispositioning coming out from Aeon. And that was what they cost them the game, honestly, because Vox was positioned in a way where, he is in the safety of the fountain, or rather not the fountain, but then the base itself. So if it need to, Vox can just run back into base. Whereas on the side of Popeyes, they were just going in for the Vox. Aeon actually missing that jump jet. Ooh, they might be looking for
going to go in, and the Atlas doesn't quite land. Let's just on the Baron, he's going to go back to toasting. He's got the ball through, silence again, he's going to connect. It was not blocked up, and that's going to be Samuel pretty much falling. Fountain used by Tesla to keep him alive. Probably never going to get a double star. He's very low, but he should be fine. We're not quite dicing Oblivion. And that's another 2 kills for Arsenal. They're turning this game around. And the Crystal Power Black Feather is just coming into his own. And Vox is managing to 1v1 Baron, because Baron with no defense on Vox, with Vox in the full metal jacket, even though it didn't seem like it did a lot before, now it just seems like Vox can actually sustain through the Baron initial burst and then try and turn it around. Baron has now respawned. He's going to take this Kraken very quickly. Delphi, the blast rammer isn't up for another 30 seconds, so they Artisan really cannot fight. Delphi is going to fall. We couldn't even afford to put a Stormcast with energy, and Aeon's just going to go for the kills. They want to rush, so they want to rush for the win. They know Harkons is going to fall, and Vox is going to be able to fall home. Popper's going to just go for the base rush. Kraken is very healthy. Kraken will probably take these turrets and the Vayne by herself if Rose manages to do the 1v3 plays. And it's going to be close. Aeon's going to run down this game. He's going to go quite quickly. Rose is going to try and do what he can. He's got the Sanctuary, but Hezbollah's probably going to take this turret, and that's going to be Kraken getting one. And now this lovely Atlas onto Rose Toasty, and he's going to fall. That's the ace. That's the game. For Popeyes, Kraken doing it as quick as she can. Catherine Blast Trap, but not going to do anything. Hasn't even used it in time. And that is game 1 for Popeyes. They took the fight. They Kraken rushed against the Kraken and took this game just about a little bit scary near the end, but they just waited for Catherine to run out of energy and then could win the fight, catching them off one by one.
Yep, definitely. I think at the end of the day, it was just Aeon just being caught out of position, and from that, the morality of Popeyes actually dropped 4 team fights, and then they just decided, like you said, catch Catherine out of position, out of mana, out of energy at least, and then when